Many of us dream of having a flight simulation cockpit in our home. Seeing all the lights, physically flipping the switches, turning the knobs, all adds a massive layer of realism to your flight sim experience. But bringing this to a reality can have its challenges. Oftentimes, one may not know where to begin when it comes to building the panels with correct dimensions, not to mention afford the tools and materials to make this happen. This is where a company known as Flight Velocity saves the day. Flight Velocity is located in the USA, where they manufacture affordable cockpit panels that are completely compatible with the Sci-Tech Logitech G instruments. These panels are strong, lightweight, and made from high-strength ABS plastics. There are currently 3 models available, with more on the way, 2 to include room for Real Gear's GNS 530 and 430, and the other supports the G1000. It's important to understand that these panels do not come with the Sci-Tech Logitech hardware. They are simply ready-to-use panels that the flight instruments can easily be mounted to. The compatible instruments can be purchased from various stores, but most conveniently on the Flight Velocity product page. The FV1 Legacy panel is the most stacked model, costing $199 USD. I found this to be my favorite panel of the 3 because it has the most options, and I prefer the yoke mounted on the left. The FV3 mid-profile panel costs $189 USD and might be more suitable for most flight simmers. This panel is a little shorter in height and wider in width over the Legacy panel. Lastly, we have the low-profile cockpit panel. This is known as the FV2, and it is their most basic and affordable model, costing just $179 USD. If you need a place to view your charts, make sure you check out the Flight Velocity iPad mount. This mount is compatible with the Legacy and mid panels and has been designed to work with the 9.7-inch iPad, iPad Air 2, or iPad Pro. The mount is made from the same ABS plastics, making it fit perfectly with the panel style. When the panel arrives, you will find them in a Flight Velocity labeled box. The panels come nicely packaged and they are very easy to remove. Included in the box is a brief instruction manual to get you going. For a more detailed manual, you can visit the Flight Velocity installation guide on their website. The panels are black with texture throughout the face and smooth on the back. You will notice that the panels have cutouts for the various instruments. To remove these, I used a pair of scissors to cut each piece, holding it onto the main panel. If you want the 6-pack cutout smooth, you can sand down the leftover plastic or trim it away with a utility knife. However, this is not necessary because the instruments will cover the edges. When installing the instruments like a radio stack, you will need to cut the excess plastic with a utility knife, or you can sand it to fit. I used a low-grade sandpaper, and it sanded the edge very nicely. About 10 seconds of sanding smoothed the edge, allowing for a snug fit of the panel. The first thing you should do is establish a surface to attach the panel to. Because each panel is a different height, you will need to find a desk or surface with the appropriate eye level height to fasten the panel to. I began by mounting the yoke to the Legacy panel. The yoke is the main part that will attach the panel to the surface, along with another bracket on the right side of the panel. Remove the screws from the top of your yoke and use them to attach the yoke to the bracket on the panel. Finally, use the desk mount provided by Sci-Tech to clamp the yoke to your surface. Each instrument requires 4 screws that are fastened from the back of the panel with a nut. Each hole on the panel is perfectly square with the Sci-Tech instrument holes. I had no problem lining up the instruments on the panels. After installing the remaining instruments, you are ready to plug everything in. You will have plenty of room on the back of the panel for cable management, and I also added a strip of LED lights on the inside lip of the top panel. It looks really good and adds to the experience when you fly at night. With the pre-flight checklist complete, it was time to take the panels on their first flight. From the moment I first rotated and put the landing gear up, I could tell I was in for a fun time. The yoke and right side mount really hold the panels in place nicely. I experienced no movement during my rotation or any other pressure I put on the yoke. Tuning the radios and pushing buttons felt like I was operating an actual aircraft. I found incredible value in these panels by Flight Velocity. These strong, lightweight, and fairly priced panels are an excellent solution if you are someone that already has instruments by Sci-Tech, someone who wants to build a cockpit, or even someone in the flight simulator business. This is going to conclude the video review today. Make sure you check out these panels, they're really awesome. And I just want to thank Flight Velocity for giving us the opportunity to review them. So with that being said, if you have any comments or questions, please send them to info@FSElite.net, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.